Hello, my Teaserking family. So I thought I did an hour 32. It turns out I only did 38 minutes, which is kind of frustrating because I'm not really sure what I said or where I'm at. It was kind of multiple lessons, so I don't really know where I'm at anyway. Um, I hate that because it was frozen. I'm surprised that Luke was able to say I was frozen. Anyway, again, YouTube. So I don't know how Luke told me I was frozen, but anyway, let's let's see what gold's doing now. Gold's 24.45, so it was 24.75, and then it goes down to 24.69 at about 11 o'clock. So we think everything's going to be fine. No, 10 o'clock, and then it starts dropping. A couple times it started to go up, and then it kept going down until 24.41, and now 24.45. So we'll see. They're fighting us, the U.S., for some reason, but we're going to win. I don't even know what to do now because I don't know where I'm at. Again, you only got 38 minutes, which means you lost 30 minutes. No, 132.90. You lost a whole hour. So I'm talking for a whole hour and it's frozen. And now I don't know if I'm frozen or not. I just assume I'm working. The problem is the clock says 2:04. The clock shows me working. Hello? 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 Okay. All right. So it is working. Hello? Yeah, we got it. All right. I was just testing it. So I'm not frozen as of now. So thanks for telling me, Luke, I was frozen because I was about to end anyway. It's kind of a weird day. There's not much. We're talking, we talked a lot of Stoic, which I heard in the first half hour. Basically, let's go back over investments. I hope I am not repeating, but the investments, you choose what you want based on it's highly demanded, a Mano card, the Rolex, and gold and silver. And it's very limited, so they didn't make a lot of it, and then you get a high price out of it. So that's really what investments you're looking for, not stocks, not real estate trusts. Those are all controlled, and they're all Ponzi schemes. But you can't really Ponzi scheme gold. Gold's undervalued because of what it is, but really it's not. It's not the value it should be. So I'm gonna give Luke a minute. I don't know how long Luke was waiting or how he got through if I was frozen. He might have said that early in the thing. Anyway, so that's the problem. So I just saw Luke's note, you're frozen. Greg John came on earlier and he didn't tell me that. So all I can do is I see myself moving and there you go. So therefore I assume I'm not frozen. Well, it's all YouTube anyway. So with that said, we talked about Stoic and Clint Eastwood and that you have to be stoic where you're strong-willed, confident, you know what you're doing, and you're very you don't get all rattled. You just stay calm and you're calm and smart, and that's what you need. You have to understand football betting or or stocks or baseball cards or gold or Rolex. You have to understand, be able to identify that it is limited and there is high demand, and therefore it's a high price. So anything you see limited be a high price. The stock market's not limited. It's a Ponzi scheme. The 40,000 is a total Ponzi scheme. So you have to understand that. And you go, the stock market shouldn't be this high. The inflation, which makes prices go up, the stock market shouldn't be high. But what's happening is these other governments are buying into the stock market. So when it crashes, there's a lot of countries that are going to get burned too. It's just like the real estate in 2000. Oh, real estate can't go down. Really? Oh, the stock market can't go down. Yeah, that's what they said in 1929. And then look what happened. If your costs are too high and you have the heavy inflation, so your money is worthless, the stocks are worthless. So that's what we have going. So you can't say, well, the stocks, the stocks won't go down. They won't lose value. Okay. How soon they forget 1929. So let's even forget that. That was done by a tariff act, which is what Trump wants to do. It won't work. See, he's trying to be protectionist, buy American, keep American, but in economics, different countries have different goods at different prices, and you're looking to buy the best good at the best price. And it's not always in the US of A. A lot of times it's Japan or China that's a better price, or Germany. It's a better price. And you don't worry what they charge in their country. You don't worry that steel's $80 a pound, I guess, or a ton. But if we sell it to Japan, we can't sell it to Japan because it'll be, they won't buy it there. Well, that's not what all you care about is what we buy it for, which is the $80. Hey, Luke, can you hear me now? I didn't see your message until the end when you said I'm frozen. And I checked, I only did 38 minutes, even though my counter said an hour 32. So I don't know. I'm fine. I'm moving around. So I don't know I'm frozen, but thanks for telling me that. Okay. Thank you. So what do you want to talk about? Look, I'm talking about limited assets and what you want to put your money in, which is the Rolexes, the Mantle cards, and the gold and silver, because they're very limited, very strong demand and strong price. But the gold is best because the price is way low than it should be because it's the manipulation. So I think we did pretty well today. Gold's 24.44. It did get hit, but we know it's the derivatives, and the U.S. is doing it after the Asians and the Europeans go home. So they wait till like 2:00 when they can't buy it back. But then when they come on at 10 o'clock at night, you'll see the spike back. So it's kind of stupid, but we got a nice jolt up to 24.81 the other day. Even today it was 24.71 until they derivated it. Maybe Trump will talk about sound money tonight in his speech. He's gold. Well, that's good. He's a gold lover. I don't like that he wants high tariffs, which is what caused the 1929 stock market crash. Yeah, see, he's got all this gold. It's funny because Warren Buffett and all these other rich guys that do not have gold, right? Gates, they don't have gold. And the only reason they have silver is they think it'll be for industrial purposes, not for money. And so I'm glad that Trump has gold. Well, as soon as BRICS comes out with the gold and reprices it at 10,000 or 20,000, wherever they're going to reprice it, there goes the dollar. I love how they're running around trying to sanction people. So the sanction basically says is you can't use U.S. dollars. Oh, okay. Well, we'll come out with a gold-backed currency. How about that? And then we don't have to listen to you idiots anymore because we'll go on gold and you're still dicking around with the U.S. dollar, which is dead and buried. So they must laugh. The Russians and the Chinese were trying to put them on sanctions. Can't use the dollar. don't want to use the dollar. You think Saudi Arabia wants to use the dollar? My problem with Saudi Arabia is watching that thing with Fink is he's got countries now going on giving him their money to him, and he's putting them in the stock market. You're like, what the fuck? Buy gold, fellas. What are you doing? I thought Saudi Arabia would be smarter. Norway, who knows? But these BRICS countries are smart enough to know they want gold. So hopefully it's just a small percentage going into uh, that. But I'm worried because they're doing the solar panels and the electric cars. Saudi Arabia, and they're gonna bankrupt themselves. You know what you're doing in oil. You apply that to these other things. Why are you fucking around with solar panels and electric cars for? You don't know how. You don't know anything about it. There's no demand for it. It's not like you're gonna make money on electric cars and solar panels. It's gonna cost you a ton because silver. You're gonna need silver, which isn't out there. That's gonna cost you a ton. So you're gonna lose a lot of money in it. Whether you're fucking around, you got the oil. Just throw all the oil money around in your bedroom, buy gold and silver with it, and then just be done with it. Yeah, the market will crash, and again, it's being supported now by these other countries getting in and buying it with Larry Fink. But there's, as I was explaining, PE ratios, and I don't know what my 38 minutes out of my 132. I know what I talked about for 132. So the PE ratios are way too high. Like I showed you yesterday with Amazon or Apple, they're like 65, 70 times earnings. A normal PE was Coca-Cola was 25. Because you're saying, well, the price of the stock is 25 and the earnings per share are $1. Hence, the price to earnings are 25, and that's about where you should buy it. But when you start dealing with the prices 60 times, is 60 and the earnings are 1, that's way too high. It should be 20, 25. You shouldn't invest in a stock much more than that because then it's overpriced. So you can't, where's it going to go? And the earnings aren't going. So you can't, it's sort of like the gold silver ratio. The gold, it's got to be 10 to 1 and it's 80 to 1. Something doesn't make sense there. So you go from there. All are speculative. The stocks are Ponzi schemes. Yes. Well, that's why they go up and down. That's why they move. That's why gold really is not volatile, and you're not going to see the Mantle cards go down or the Clementi cards for you. You're not going to see them go down. You get a PSA 9 or 10 Clementi, and you pay $100,000 for it. You have no risk in the portfolio. There's no way that card can go down because it's very limited and highly demanded, like a Mantle, like a Maze, like an Aaron. That's what we look for, or the Rolexes. That's what you look for. So gold, yes, it's being Ponzi schemed by the paper derivatives, but we really know the physical is not being sold. There's no way anybody's selling it. It should just keep going up. That's why we get a little frustrated with the derivatives, but generally it just means that it's way undervalued. Like a 25 PE is about right, but a 60 PE is way too high because, as you say, you're not going to get the earnings. There's no earn. You earned $1 a share, and it's 60. So you got to go 3 times. So now you got to get $3 a share. Where are you going to find $2 a share with inflation, and which means costs are rising? Less people can afford your product. How the hell are you going to increase your earnings enough to justify the high price? And people will start selling it. But right now, it's just they all are Ponzi scheme Madoff in. So they're really just in mutual funds, and nobody's buying Amazon. They give the money, and the portfolio manager buys in the portfolio Amazon and Apple and that's why it's so high. On potential future, Tulsa PE 63, Navia 7. Yeah, it's I would never invest in any of those. I really wish he would come live someday. Who? Flamethrower. Hi, Flamethrower. He would come live. Who are we talking about? But welcome to the to the class. Um, this is live. If you're talking about me, this is a live class. So, um, anyway, so that's what we're looking for. We're looking for limited things, and then as I was discussing late, we carry it into poker, we carry it into women, we carry it into um, just all gambling. We're looking for the gold in it. We're looking for the limited poker or women or whatever, and we're looking for highly demanded. And when you get it, it's very rare. And I was saying in my football, that's my locks. I get Kansas. I get Mahomes as a home as an underdog. Well, we know how strong he is, and we know how rare it is to get him as a dog. And that's when I lock it, like I did in the Baltimore game. So I have Mahomes in 9 points against Baltimore is a joke. That was very rare, and that's when I get excited and lock it. I go, there's no fucking way Mahomes losing to Baltimore. Lamar ain't beating Mahomes. That ain't going to happen. Flame, you live chat when you think it's recorded? Oh, I thought this was recorded. Oh, no, this is live, Frame. So feel free to ask questions or comments anytime. But yeah, I do it live on purpose to get your questions and comments because I can go through my mind, but I can't go through your mind. So like Luke's asking me, or Nick or Greg or John or Bobby whenever he comes back, so I can have a conversation and try to get to your questions or comments. So anyway, that's why I do it live, because I want the interaction. He posted recorded streams and live last times, or maybe I felt that way. Hence, I assume this is live too. Summary, I got confused. Yeah, no, it's live, and you can see. Well, I can see there's a red box up top. It says live, and it shows the clock 17:17. But I don't know if you can see it, but I can see it. But yeah, it's definitely a live. If you go into my homepage and you click on the live videos, you get all the live videos. But everything I do now is live. And I stumbled on it. I used to record them. And then I saw this live button, and I said, oh, fuck, I'll do it live because I want the questions and comments. You're welcome. All right. So what you're looking for in poker is the rear hand. In football, you're looking for Mahomes as a dog, a Rolex, a Mano card. Those are all limited and rare, and when you see it, you buy it, and that's what we're doing with gold and silver. The difference is, since it's been held down by the Ponzi scheme and the derivatives, gold at 24, it's 24.40 now, is a joke, because when you see the Mano cards for 90 grand and the Rolexes for a couple $100,000, wouldn't gold figure to be there? So by keeping it down, that's an incredible investment to make right now. It's so cheap because they've been keeping the price down, but they won't be able to hold the price. So gold's going to go wild once we get rid of the derivatives, which should be happening soon with Comex, with BRICS, gold-backed currency, and the fact they need gold. And there's not a lot of gold. I mean, I go to the gold store, I'm buying what somebody sold, but he's not getting any new gold in. It's just people walking in going, oh, gold's at 24.40. That's the all-time high. I'm going to sell it now, not realizing it's going to 20, 30,000. Luke, they crushed silver again today. Yeah, a little bit. Don't worry. Wonder when the stock market will take the elevator ride. Well, it's being supported by the Fed. It's being supported by these other countries buying it. It's a phony number with these high PEs, and it'll happen. There'll be some panic. Maybe they're probably trying to keep it through the election, which is in November. So August, September, October. So 4 months. If it lasts that long, I think the inflation is huge. All these people getting out. I think October it crashes. That's the normal time for it to crash, is always October. And the inflation's not going anywhere. The debt's going up and up and up. So the inflation keeps, and it's much more than 3%. So that's going to start killing the economy, which should start killing that. But if you notice, they never say we're in a recession. They don't say it, but we know it is. That's anytime the economy slows down, it's a recession. And of course, when you raise prices by inflating the dollars and then inflating the interest rates, making things more expensive to buy, you're in a recession, right? So we know we're in a recession. And therefore, it's just they got to start losing money. I think it's a little delayed because Facebook and Apple are worldwide, and so once they can't get people like Facebook, I don't even understand it. There's no profit in it. They sell your information. That's it. But I'm not buying anything in Facebook or selling anything in Facebook. But so people in India join Facebook. He gets 1 billion people. He's just selling their information. What a stupid business model. Amazon, you got to have money, and as that, I don't know if he's as strong in these inflated countries like India and Turkey and Zimbabwe and Venezuela as he is in that. But we're watching Japan go out, and as I pointed out, that Japan has $10,000 bills, 5,000 and 1,000. I can show them again if you want to see them. That's it, man. When you see the dollar bills, like in Zimbabwe, $1 trillion bill or $1 billion bill, you're fucked. You're fucked. And so Japan's going out, India's going out. They're like 85 to 1. The US dollar sucks, right? And they're 85. The dollar buys you 85 rupees. They're gone. They were gone at 80. So they hit 85. So we're going to watch. I think the way it's going to work, Luke, Japan will go out with their inflation. Then it'll come India. They'll go out. That's why they need the gold-backed currency. And then Germany's broke. France is broke. I love it. They're having the Olympics. Where did they get the money to build the stadiums, or maybe they already had for the Olympics? So they're going to have it all, but then they're all worthless. It's the stupidest thing. Look at Sochi, Russia, right? They build all these stadiums for the Olympics. They go unused. There's nobody swimming in Russia at Sochi, or running track, or maybe hockey, but I think it was Summer Olympics. I don't remember which one they had, but these things aren't. Nobody's using them. The Olympics are just a good way to bankrupt you. Now, the reason we're having it in LA, we've already got everything built there. But you get some of these countries, Paris, where wasn't that like 1924 or when they had the Chariots on Fire movie? So that's the last time. So it costs them all this money to build all these stadiums they need, and then they never get used. And then so they're all worthless. So yeah, have the Olympics. That makes perfect sense. I don't know how France is paying for it. They're gone too. All the Euro countries are gone. The euro is gone. The British pound is gone. All these countries are bankrupt. At what point do everybody realize it? But I assume it's when you can't pay. But as soon as nobody wants it, see, it's all going to BRICS because they have gold. And as soon as they don't want to use the dollar and the euro and all that, or they'll come out with a second euro. I think what euro is going to do is come out with a second euro soon, and they'll say, well, because of the war, we're coming out with a new euro, and we'll probably do it here. We'll come out with a new US dollar because of Putin. We gave all that money to Ukraine, and it inflated. And so the only way out is we have to now come out with a new dollar because of Putin. Not that we fucked it. We didn't print all this money. Putin did. Putin made us do it because of this war that we had to have so we could try to get their oil and minerals out of those four cities in Ukraine. But we don't want to tell you that's why we went to war. Let's see. Flamethrower. The paper currency is going to destroy the economy someday. Yeah, that day is about 2 weeks. Every country is bankrupt. Yes. Well, no. Every country that doesn't have gold is bankrupt. China is not. Neither is Russia. Neither is the Saudis or India's currency is going out. Just like China's currency is going out. But oh yeah, we got 60,000 tons of gold. We're fine. But yes, Flame. Well, what happens? So the paper currency is the medium of exchange. So if I go work, and I'm a financial analyst, so I go work, I get a paycheck, I take the paycheck. That's the money. That's the medium of exchange. I pay my bills, and then I can buy gold with the rest of it, right? So I make more than I need, so I can buy gold with it. Not more than I need, but more than my bills are. And that's the point. So all that's going to happen is the fiat currency, and this is what the fiat currency is worth, like 1 cent. That's why it's ripped and folded. This is the value of the dollar. It's 1 cent. So they'll come out with, they need a new medium of exchange. They should have it backed by gold, so you can't get to this situation again. But they're so corrupt, and they're all a bunch of morons that think MMT, that I can print as much as I want and it won't hurt. That's why they don't want gold, but that's why they all go to zero. And that's why every country gets destroyed. And we go ask the Romans about that, because they did it. They took all the gold and silver out. What happened to the Roman Empire? Inflation, right? So that's the lesson learned by not having it backed by anything. So we need a new currency. So if we were to come out with a gold-backed currency, and now I start getting paid in that currency, and I pay my bills in that currency, and then I buy my gold and go on vacations with that currency, everything's fine. That's how you fix it, is have gold. Gold fixes this mess. And gold's the only thing that can fix this mess. Gold and silver, or if we back our money by Rolexes and Mantle cards. But gold and silver are money, so you're going to use that. That's why we're buying gold and silver, because we know this is worthless, and we know this is worthless. This isn't worth anything, and this isn't worth anything. So we're getting out of them, and that leads us to gold and silver. It's a natural thing, and because it's been price fixed down, we can still fucking afford it. How many Rolexes for $200,000 can you afford to buy? None. How many Mantle cards at 70,000 can you buy? None, maybe one. How much gold and silver can you buy at 24? Well, it's like 2,500, and silver at $32 an ounce. You can buy a shitload, but they're worth the same as the Mantle and the Rolex. They just haven't gotten there yet. That's what we're doing, is we're outsmarting them, and we're buying that because we know it's very limited and very highly in demand. All the central banks want it. Everybody wants it. And it's the only escape. It's the lifeboat, which is where I come up with Titanic. The boat hit the iceberg, it's sinking, the water's coming in. You need to get on the lifeboat. Well, the dollars hit the iceberg and it's losing value, and the only lifeboat is gold and silver. The others are good too, but you're not really buying a Rolex as a lifeboat. You could, but you're not going to sell it. And the Mantle cards, so gold and silver, and they're so cheap, we can still buy them. That's the beauty of them. So Comex has been holding the price down, and now we can buy it for peanuts, and we know we're going to make a fortune on them. So it's as much as you can eat. Every country is bankrupt, yes. Every G7 is bankrupt. Every country in paper is bankrupt. Look at Zimbabwe, Venezuela, Argentina, and then Greece, Sri Lanka, Turkey's going there, India's going there. Anything on paper, China's bankrupt. But only the countries with the gold will survive, which is BRICS, and that's why they're doing it, because they're smart enough. Putin understands. He says, "Well, we need a gold-backed currency, and that'll do it." Gregor John's back. Why didn't you tell me I was frozen, Gregor John? Yeah, Flame. The paper currency is it's already destroyed. It's really has no value. maybe 1% of what it used to be worth. And that's where I bring in the example of Pepsi at 10 cents a can. And now it's 2.60, $2.60 for just a can of Pepsi. But it used to be a dime. That's when the money was worth something. It was a dime. And now, and I got what? Wendy's. Well, no, my best one. So Wendy's was 55 cents, is now $5. And well, gold at 37 is now 2,400. And a house used to be 25,000 in 1971. You could buy a house for 25 grand. Now 500,000. That's really the true measure of the dollar going out, even more than the gold. And the silver was $1.75, but that's all price fixed. The whole world will have to agree on a gold standard. Well, BRICS is doing it. And if the US and Canada and England want to stay alive, and the Euro countries, these two will have to be backed by gold. It won't be, they'll have to do it. In Britain and Switzerland, I can't believe Switzerland is not on the gold standard. They'll have to be on a gold standard because Putin already doesn't want it. He says this is like a Milky Way wrapper. This is the value of this. It's worthless. He already said it. And I guarantee you the Chinese know it. The Indians know it. And Saudi doesn't want it because it's worthless. Why would I sell you oil? It's like selling you Mahomes card for this. I mean, no. I'm selling the Mahomes card. Let me do it this way. I want gold for this card. I don't want this crap. Right? This is a real asset with a real value, and it's very limited, and it's very popular. Why the fuck would I want this for it? Because this has no value. And that's really what you're trying to do, is you understand that. So you're going to be forced to go on a gold standard because nobody's going to want your dollars. If I have a choice between buying a gold back dollar and a toilet paper dollar, I ain't buying the toilet paper. So that's really the big deal, is to buy the gold back currency, or just get the gold as we're doing. But you got to get physical gold. The paper gold is worthless. It's not doesn't have any value of gold, and it's not gold. It's dollars, right? If you buy an ETF or a stock, it's dollars. I did look at my Newmont mining. The low for the year in February was 29. It's now at 43 with negative earnings. So, yeah, I'd stay away from that anyway. But the costs have gone up so much, and they're not getting the full value of the gold. Your thought's right, but I would just buy the physical, and you don't have to worry about the stocks. U.S. and Euro not far behind. No, it's Japan. It's the Euro and the U.S. are all, they're all going to fold. And it's got nothing to do with trade or interest rates or anything. It's the dollars. They're all printed to nothing. And then the British pound goes out. The Canadian dollar is already gone. And the Swiss franc is next. I think I showed you the Canadian one. So this one on Canada, what the fuck is happening to Canada? They're bankrupt, and it's all housing problem. Their housing is very expensive. Britain's out. Germany's going bankrupt. And German people I talk to have gold. They remember 1923, and they inflated, and the Nazis. So most of the people there have gold. The problem is when I go to the store, you go to the store, nobody knows it. It doesn't make the price go up. So if I were to buy 10 ounces and you were to buy 10 ounces, everybody here bought 10 ounces, the price wouldn't move a nickel, because it's not triggered by that. It's triggered by the derivatives and the paper, not So the options control the price, not the buying. And because it's bought by China and India and Saudi Arabia, that's why the price goes up. So they're buying it, they're taking delivery of it, and that's what kills it. But it's the big banks that are doing it, not me and you. So there's a lot more demand for gold by individuals that don't get counted, so they don't see it, which is ridiculous. Um, yeah, but the U.S. 21 trillion printed. Just forget the international 130 trillion printed for the petrodollar, where everybody needed dollars to buy the oil. Now you don't. Nobody would you rather hold the BRICS gold backed currency or the US dollar that's worthless? So the dollars are going to scream back in. That's when the market crashes. That's when the housing market crashes. So you're going to be very happy you waited to buy your house until the housing market crashes. And it's all because people are going to get rid of their dollars and probably go and buy dollars if they can. I don't know. Can we buy the gold backed BRICS dollars? If we can, I will. I'd rather have that. I was ready to buy the Zimbabwe gold backed dollars. But BRICS, I can. I can go to Russia and buy them. So we'll see about that. But that's really the key to it. So the dollars will go out because so back, that's what I was saying. So as they come back, because nobody wants them, then there goes this thing, because then they sell their stocks. Oh, I want to get out of the dollars, so yeah, I got 100,000. I got my pension fund in the stock market. I'm going to pull it out. I need gold or gold-backed currency. So they don't want to hold U.S. dollars as it's worthless. The bankers realize it because they buy they are dumping the dollar for gold, and China realizes it. And then when we do an auction for T-bills, nobody wants them. Nobody wants U.S. T-bills, so we're buying our own T-bills. If that doesn't say the dollar's worthless, I don't know what does. So that's really the biggest factor. If there's, so here's a Rolex for, if nobody wants the Rolex, it's worth zero, right? I do that with my Canadian club. Let's say it's $75. But if nobody wants it, it's worthless. I can't sell it. If I can't sell it, it's worth zero. And that's how it's going to be. Nobody wants the US dollar. When they try to do the T-bills, nobody wants them because they're worthless. And they know they won't get paid back. That's the other kicker. Well, why would I do a T-bill? I'm not going to get paid back for it because you owe 36 trillion. You owe 36 trillion. How the fuck are you going to pay that back? Why would I then take an IOU from you? It's sort of like a guy who doesn't pay his bookie, right? Okay, you're on credit. All right, you owe me $5,000 and you don't pay me back. Good luck finding another bookie to take your bet because you're not going to pay. And if you're not going to pay that, and then you want me to buy a T-bill, you got 36 trillion in debt. How the fuck are you going to pay me back? You can't. So why would I want to put my money in it? You know what? I'm going to buy silver. Thanks anyway. Thanks for the offer. I think I'll go buy 50 ounces of silver instead of your T-bill. And I know I'm going to make money there. So it's all options, right? You can get the Mantle card, which is high. You can get the gold, which is really low. You can get the Rolexes, which, and all three you can't lose on. Why would I want to be in dollars where it's losing? It's a depreciated asset, which is what the title is. So the real assets are the cards, the Rolexes, the jewelry, the diamonds, and the gold and silver. All those are real assets. You're not going to lose on them. But you want to stay out of the depreciated assets, which are actually cars and money and whatever else. So you got to be careful with that. I like silver. I know you like silver. Silver is good. Flame. Banking system has some serious issues too. Well, their problem is these interest rates. So as the interest rates go up, a lot of their money is stuck at zero that they have to refinance at 5. So their cost has gone way up. And they're gonna go broke because they can't afford to pay when they re-up on the loans. So you do a loan at 0%. So let's say you do your mortgage, $100,000 mortgage at 0%. Okay, I owe $500 a month, but now it's 5%. So now I got to renew the mortgage. And 100,000 at 5% is now 1,500. Well, I can't afford the 1,500. I could afford the 5. Well, that's what the banks have going. They've got all their money lent out at 0%, and then now they got to renew it at the 5.5%, which they can't do. The cars, I go into my Toyota guy and get my oil changed for free because I give them football picks, and he can't sell the car because of the interest rates. So I bought a Camry. It was $470. It was like 24,000. I paid $470 a month, and I paid it off in 2.5 years. And now it's $1,000 a month because the interest rates are 7-8% because they don't trust the people. So you better have good credit, but I don't want to get paid back in inflated dollars. I don't want to lend you $30,000 for a Camry and get paid back in this shit. So I got to charge higher interest rates. If I was them, I would only take gold and silver for the cars. I wouldn't take dollars. Or if I did get the dollar, I'd want more money. So that's why the Camry's 30, 35,000 now, is because of that. He can't sell any because it's $1,000 a month. Who the fuck has $1,000 a month for the car? I mean, I had 470. I thought was high, but $1,000 a month. Good. I ain't buying a car. $1,000 a month. Forget it. And the repos are way high right now. I hear there's a lot of repossessions, which means people aren't paying their car payments. What's next? The house payments. There go to real estate trusts. There go to banks. So let's say we're banks, right? And Greg and John, you wanted a car loan. So I go to the bank, and the bank pays your note, pays your 25,000, let's say 30,000. So you want a Camry for 30,000, Greg and John. So I'm Bank of America. I give you the 30,000. I give it to Toyota to buy the car, and then you owe me $700 a month for 5-6 years. And what happens is then you can't pay. So you start paying, and then you say, I lost my job. I can't afford it. And then what happens is the bank has to eat it, right? We're expecting let's say 7% from Greg and John on our loan that we've already given to Toyota. And now Greg and John can't pay it back. We don't want the car. We want the money, but I can't get the money. Defaulting, and it's really high now. People aren't paying their auto loans and their mortgages. Well, the banks are the ones that get screwed, as you're saying, Flame. The banks are expecting this money in and can't get it because people don't have the money because of the fucking inflation and all the costs going up, because the purchasing power of the dollar is going down, and that's the inflation. I love when they say, inflation and purchasing power. Like, hey, idiots! It's the same thing. Inflation is the purchasing power going down. Jesus Christ. So that's really the point. Let's see what you read. Luke, silver going to gain like Bitcoin soon. Gold too, but silver higher percentage. Might be a higher percentage. But if silver goes from 30 to 40, it's a higher percentage, but it only went up $10. Gold just went up $50 the other day, Tuesday. So I like when gold goes up, even though, because percentage-wise, it's sitting at 24.50 right now. So you got to go to get 1%, you got to go up $240, which isn't very likely in a day. But for silver to go up, 50%, it goes from 30 to 40, which is nothing. So yeah, on a percentage basis, it goes up, but it's not as pretty as the gold going up $100 in a day, right? Flamethrower. Luke, why do you think so? Well, Flame, you got to watch the class. Look at the gold silver ratio. Silver always gains higher percent as gold silver goes higher. Flame. Oh, but current scenario can't decide future. Can they? Or am I missing something? Um, well, we're looking at history for this flame. So the history is out of the ground, silver's 10 to 1 to gold. That's what we're looking at. That's what he's saying. And because we're seeing the price of gold at 24.40 and the silver is at $32, there's a big problem. Now, they've been price fixing both, but the silver, they've really been price fixing because of all these environmental bullshit. They're keeping, they need it for electric car batteries and the solar panels, uh, and the Tomahawk missiles. So because of that, they've been keeping the silver price really low. But because, and it's a lot of the BRICS banks are not buying silver, they're buying gold. So they're dumping dollars for gold, but they're not necessarily buying the silver. So the silver is still sitting at 30.31, while the gold, like the gold just went from 23.50 to 24.50. Silver didn't move. It moved a dollar or two. It went up to 32. So it's not moving anywhere near what gold's moving. So what Luke's saying is, but it should hit its normal thing. And I agree with him. Once we get rid of Comex, then it will be 10 to 1. And that's what we're waiting for. But that's what we're looking at is the history of actually what comes out of the ground physically. It's physically comes out 10 to 1. So there's 500,000 tons of gold or of silver, let's say 600,000 tons of silver and 250,000 tons of gold. So if you do the math, it's not even 10 to 1. There's so much more silver than gold, but they're both extremely limited. Also, the demand for silver is going to go through the roof with what I told you about Saudi Arabia going to this huge, they want to make 150,000 electric vehicles. They need silver for the batteries. There's no substitute. And the solar panels are going to be huge. They need silver to make the solar panels. And India. So all these countries needing the electric car and the solar panels need silver for it. Like I said, there's only 600,000 tons, which is not a lot. And silver wears out. Gold can't wear out, right? Gold's the man. It's impossible to destroy gold, but silver you can. So you got it in the battery, and the battery runs out. You need a new battery or a solar panel. You need new silver. So that's really what's happening. The silver will wear out, but the gold won't. So, but the silver is going to fly because if Saudi Arabia and India start with the solar panels, they're going to need tons and tons of silver. That price is they're going to break Comex because Comex is not really a delivery system. It's a price setting system. So what price do we want gold at and what price do we want silver? And we're going to run derivatives to hit those prices. So we're going to do puts or calls options to get to that price. It has nothing to do with supply and demand and nothing. And they don't really have a warehouse full of gold and silver. They have a little, but not a lot. So if you need, if Saudi Arabia and India both need like 5,000 tons of silver, they ain't getting it from Comex. They don't have it. And that's the whole point. And gold's going to blow up because they actually need physical gold because the rules changed. They need physical gold to do the options, and they don't have it. It's almost gone. So they won't be able to fuck around with us with their derivatives. Let's see, flame. Oh, okay. Once what Prfoessor says happens, gold revalues 20K, silver will roll 1,000 overnight, at least. I think silver would go 1,000 just in money, but when we start adding these countries doing the solar panels, I think it'll be much higher. I don't think it's out of the question to get to 3,000 because of the demand for the metal will blow up Comex, and then I need 3,000 tons. They're going to have to, okay, I'm going to need more money. I assume they go to the mines for them. Who else stores silver? Not the coins that we're looking at. Well, where would you go buy silver for a solar panel? I mean, 1-800 we store silver or what? I mean, they're either in the mines, they've got to be in the mines, or whatever. But that, to me, they'll go outside the ring fence, as Mark McGuire says, and that'll cause a much higher price. We're getting a lot of O's from Flame. Yeah, see, you've been inundated by Keynesian economics, so you don't know what's really going on. Yeah, I'm Austrian, so I tell you exactly what's happening and the truth. And I have no meat in the game. I don't sell. I'm not Peter Schiff trying to sell you gold. I'm telling you with a real, as an economist, and I invest in gold and silver, as Luke knows, as Gregor John knows. And I also have the baseball cards. I just don't have the Rolex. But I didn't know Rolex did that. I mean, used Rolexes are more expensive than new Rolexes, because if you want a Rolex, you have to go to a jewelry store that sells Rolex, and then you have to order it, and it's going to take a year to make. But you don't want to wait a year. So let's say you see a $30,000 real pretty Rolex. I want it. It'll take a year. Or you can buy this used one here, but you're going to have to pay $45,000. But you get it right. You get it in a week. So that's what's happening. Everybody wants it. They can't wait a year for the Rolex, and therefore the used Rolex market is worth more than the new Rolex market. Just an FYI. So if you're looking for a really strong investment, go buy a Rolex. That and anything I'm telling you, the PSA 9 Mantles, the Montana rookie, the Jordan rookie, forget about it. You can't. I know I'm freezing a little. You can't lose with it. So that's the point of it. It's you want investments that you can't lose, that are very limited and high demand. And I think I'm freezing. I did that last time. Maybe that's what blew me up. Anyway, so that's the point of it. And then you, but why put your money in stocks that are overvalued, that as the dollar goes out and the costs go up, you're going to buy less? I mean, who can afford a $1,500 iPhone? Or are you going to buy the Apple network to watch Gilligan's Island, or what are you doing? I'm hoping I'm still alive. Yeah, I think I am. Well, let's see. Let me know if I'm not. Let me test. Let me know if I'm not. Oh, okay. I'm still alive. All right. Let me test. Okay, so that's good. So that's really the point of it. Because of the suppression of the options and the derivatives in Comex, the gold and silver price is nowhere near reality. That's why we're jumping on it. All we want to do is get to our Mantle PSA 9 price of 70,000, and we'll be happy with it. Then you got Montana at 125. I mean, how the fuck can Montana's rookie be 125,000, and gold be at 2,400? I mean, it doesn't even make sense. There are limited, right? There's probably 100 PSA 10 Montanas, because the centering was a bitch. Very hard to get a 10 because of the centering. So they're limited, and it's Montana, and it's his rookie card. We get it, and the demand's huge. But gold should be much more than gold. Should be 20,000 if it's $5. I mean, that's a minimum. And with all these countries at war and with all these dollars going out, the demand for gold will be huge, because, so I'm in Germany and I'm in Italy and this is worthless, and I'm in America and this is worthless, so all of Europe doesn't have any money. Maybe they go back to a gold-backed currency. Either way, it knocks. If they go to a gold-backed currency, then the demand for gold's through the roof. And if they don't, all the people will need gold to survive, and there'll be a line for gold, like off the Titanic. So what we're looking at is the frenzy at the end of the Titanic. which means you have people realizing the boat's going to sink. So they're not smart enough when it hits the iceberg. Me and Luke would have walked over to the lifeboat, said, "Put us down right now." It hit the iceberg. We already know it's going to sink, right? We don't wait. That's what we're doing now. We know the gold price is going to go through the roof and the silver. We're not waiting. We're saying, okay, give me all the gold and silver I can get right now. Most people, though, on the Titanic waited until the boat's 9/10 into the water to realize, oh shit, we're going to sink. Yeah, well, what'd you think would happen after the iceberg? And so everybody did a frenzy to the lifeboats. They're going to do the same frenzy to the gold and silver lifeboats as they did on the Titanic. So what you're going to have is people have no clue the dollar's worthless or the euro's worthless or the yen's worthless. They don't have a clue, or the rupee, the Indian. They don't have a fucking clue. You want to do what they're doing in Venezuela and Argentina and Zimbabwe, where, a can of tuna is 20,000, whatever their dollars are, which are worth like $2. So you can either wait and see it, or you know what's going to happen because you've seen this movie before, and you'll run out and buy it now. And then when the boat sinks, okay, I'm in gold anyway, so I'm protected, because that's the only thing that's going to protect you. So even if they come out with a gold-backed currency, gold has to be much higher. And if they don't, then they're really fucked. And then the dollar and the euro is worthless. And how do they then buy food? And it's happening in Canada now, Japan, India. They're all going broke. Germany. Jenna has her girlfriend, Natasha, who moved from Ukraine to Berlin. And I keep asking her, well, is she, it's going broke. Is she okay? Well, she doesn't have any money, or very little. But she understands gold, because I talked to her about it. So she gets it. Said, I don't have money for it. I said, buy silver. I said, had I known, I would have brought her an ounce when we met her, but I didn't know. But Jenna didn't offer her ounces either. It's not like she said, well, Howard gave me some, so here, I can give you one. She's like, no, I'm not going to say anything. What do you feel about cryptos, especially Bitcoin? Luke, Bitcoin better than the US dollar, not as good as gold or silver physical, fiat implosion. Luke, yeah. Okay, so the professor's point on cryptos are, the biggest problem you have is they're priced in dollars. So here's the difference between Bitcoin and gold. Bitcoin is priced in US dollars, right? It's worth $60,000. What are you going to do when the dollar goes out? Bitcoin's worth zero, because there is no Bitcoin to price the Bitcoin in. Gold doesn't need the dollar to be priced. So let's say gold goes up to 25,000 an ounce, and the dollar goes out. As I tell Luke, gold's going to buy you a house, because that'll be the money. Gold does not need to be priced in dollars to have its value. Bitcoin does. That's the biggest difference. Plus, Bitcoin, I don't trust that it's digital. I don't like it. It's based on a Ponzi scheme where somebody has to buy it to get the price up. I don't know where the value of Bitcoin comes from, because there's no coins. It's not backed by gold, oil, or anything. I don't like it. The fact they want to call 21 million limited, and I show you this and say, well, no, this is limited. This is a Mahomes 50 count. 50 is limited. 21 million I don't consider limited. So the problem with Bitcoin is it is a Ponzi scheme in the fact, how does the price go up if somebody buys? And if people sell, the price goes down. That's a Ponzi scheme, because there is nothing there. So I think that's your biggest problem. Don't rely on Bitcoin. You want to rely on gold and silver, because you have it, and you want physical gold and silver. You don't want IRAs that you can't get, or ETFs or stocks. They're paper. You don't want to rely on paper, because when the shit hits the fan and you try to get your well, give me my gold and my ETF, you're not getting any. You're certainly not getting in the stocks. And what else can you get it in? So only physical. So you buy as much physical where you actually buy the coins and buy. So you buy here. I'll show you. So you buy the Cougarans. You buy um, the Maple Leafs. Let's go. Let's see what's gold doing now. All right, gold's 24.45. So we're doing okay. Once we get to 10 o'clock, the Asians will buy for us. We'll see it back up there. All right, so this is what you buy. This is what you buy. So you buy the Maple Leaf, you buy the Cougaran. See how it says quarter ounce of fine gold. This also says it. Um, so here you get the Eagle. That's a half ounce. You get the Maple Leaf again, the Cougaran, the Philharmonic. See how it says 1 ounce fine gold, Canada, anything like that. You'll see the gold, buy it, you're fine. Don't buy the bullshit. I was pointing out here's where you can get burned by a fake. So the real silver is about $40 an ounce. So if you're doing 5 of them, would be $200 an ounce. So here's how you tell a scam. How the hell can 5 ounces of silver go for 122? It can't, because the ounce, if it's 40 an ounce, is 200. You're not selling it for 122. So these two are both scams. They're both Ponzi schemes. You probably will get the silver, but it's counterfeit, so you're not getting real money. And I would ignore it. And a good way to check. So first you check by the price. There's no way. Why would, if it's $40 an ounce and you're selling 5, take anything less than 200? You got to be an idiot. You know it's silver. The demand's high. Why would I get, this is like $23 an ounce when it's going for 40? Why the fuck would I do that unless it's counterfeit, it's fake? So then you go into the auction. Christ. Which I can't go into the auction. Okay, and then you see the seller, Yulig Zheng, some Chinese guy, and he's got a 0 rating because he's a scammer. That's why it's a new account. He's got no rating. So this is counterfeit. This should be $200, not 123. So that's how you know it's a scam, because nobody in their right mind would do that. So those are what you buy: the Eagles, the Cougarans, the Maple Leafs, and my favorite, the Philharmonics. These are Austrian. I love them. And then the Eagles there, and the Cougarans. So any of these, and they're all going to say 1 ounce fine gold, or a half ounce fine gold, or a quarter ounce. That's what you buy. There's the Mantle card, 60 grand. PSA 9. If you ever find a PSA 10, it'll be add at least 1 0 to that, if not 2. Because you can't, there's no way you're finding a Mantle PSA 10 1965. If you do, then you're retired. The Jordan rookie, 500,000. That is a PSA 10. That's extremely limited. Here's a quarter ounce pure fine gold, 682 Maple Leaf. So stick to those. And there. Now here's the silver. Today's 37.60. So 37 times 5 is about 187. Why would he be selling it for 122? when it's really worth 87. So that doesn't make sense. So that's how you find and see a scam. Let's see. I can't wait for that house. Yeah. So Bitcoin is not better. It's just digital, and you need the physical. And we don't really know. It's not money, Bitcoin. It's just a digital thing, and everything digital is not worth anything. So I would go in gold and silver. I would never go into. I don't own any Bitcoin. I'm not going to ever own any Bitcoin. At least if they actually had those B coins and they were actually real Bitcoins, maybe. It's gold. Okay, but Bitcoin's not backed by gold. So, like I say, when the dollar goes out, Bitcoin's going out. Fiat implosion. I can't wait for that house. You'll be loving it. 2 ounces of gold is going to buy you a nice house. Problem is gold is not too. Problem is gold is not easy to redeem for a house without exchanging for dollars first right now. Yes, but when the dollar's gone and there is no currency and you have the only real money that's still alive, which is gold and silver, think about it. You have a house you want to sell for $400,000 and the dollar goes out and your house is worth zero because your house is priced in dollars. The dollar's zero. Your house is worth zero. I walk up to you with 2 ounces of gold valued at probably close to 100,000 an ounce. You going to take it, or are you going to dick around and say, I need money? And if you do need money, what money are you going to get? Because there ain't money that's got any value. So right now, yes, but when the shit hits the fan, that's when you're going to buy the house. And believe me, they'll take 2 ounces of gold all day long because there's no money to give them. Right. So I walk up to you. What am I going to give you? How much money can I give you? There is no money. It's worthless. It's like Zimbabwe when the guy carries, $1 billion Zimbabwe dollars and they're worth $5. So what am I gonna do? But the gold is money and you know it and you'll take it. And there's no forms, there's no sales tax. And the guy will be jumping up and down going, yes, I'm rich. So that's what will happen. Flamethrower, house, X, mansion. Yeah, well, I mean, he'll buy a real nice house with this gold. Question is, will he be in the U.S. or will he be in some island in the Caribbean? Buy gold, silver, eagle is constitutional money. Well, and it's real gold. You can buy maple leafs, cougar ant, like I said. Luke, Flame, looking for a house with 4 bedrooms that's nice in Pittsburgh, probably 650. Yeah, it might be 3 ounces of gold for you, Luke. Flame, Luke, good luck, Luke. Luke, more realistic 750 now, which is insane in inflated dollars. So it all comes back to the fact this is inflated and there's 21 trillion plus 130 trillion. This has no value. That's what I keep saying. So because it's lost its purchasing power and the costs have gone up, remember that's $750,000, this shit, right? And that's not what, that's why it's more expensive. And then you got 8% interest rates to fuck around with. You wait for the implosion. When the fiat goes and the dollar goes, the housing market will crash. The dollar crashed. Oh, but your gold's worth a ton. That's why you're going to take 2 or 3 ounces of gold because it's not really 750,000. It's 750,000 inflated dollars. If we go back to 1971, it's 25,000. 25,000 buys you a $500,000 house now in 1971. So that's really what the value is. It's probably $30,000. But you have to pay 750 because the dollar's worth nothing. The price isn't going up on the house. The dollar is lost its value, and you need more dollars to buy the same house years ago probably cost you 300,000. So don't forget, it's not the prices going up, it's the value of the dollar being destroyed, being inflated, going to zero. That's the bottom line. Our professor is a genius. Thank you. I appreciate that. Don't get ahead of yourself, Flame. He does understand his shit. Thank you. I've been called brilliant before. Genius. I'll settle. Football, I'm a genius. This stuff, I'm definitely very strong at. But I try to teach it where it makes sense, right? All you guys can follow me, right? You know exactly what I'm saying. Like, Luke, I'm not talking in Chinese gibberish like the Keynesians do. I'm talking to you in plain fifth grade English, and you go, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. That's the difference of a good teacher and a bad teacher. When you get done with my class, you've learned something and you never have questions. The questions you have is, what would you buy, Bitcoin or gold? But you're never asking, what is inflation? What is gold? Why would I want it? That's all being answered very clearly. That's the mark of a smart person. Yeah, Luke. So flamethrower, are you a pitcher? Are you on the Pirates or something? You know Bobby Bow? Flamethrower. So I look at you. You can pitch 98 miles an hour. Is how I get the name. But I'll just call you Flame, like we call Bobby Bow, Bobby Bow. But that's what's happening. That's the art of economics. Is you can't. That's why you need the gold standard to stop the printing. That's the reason it stops the printing, and the government doesn't want it because they're corrupt and they want to keep printing the money because they steal it and they're corruption. So therefore, if I have the gold back system, I can't print anymore. So because I'm corrupt and I want to go to war so the defense contractors can make their money and pay me. See, it's all a big circle. We give $600 billion to the Ukraine, who gives 580 back to the defense contractors, who then the lobbyists come and give it back to the senators. And, so they keep their 100 grand. Zelensky keeps his 100 grand, and, off they go. Luke, Paul Scanes is a flame. Well, is this Paul Scanes? I would think he'd have like Paul Scanes 420 or whatever your area code is in Pittsburgh. But yeah, Bobby, is there a 420 area code in Brooklyn? I never did check that out. I wonder if. Well, let's look at. Now I'm curious. Bobby claimed he's from Brooklyn. If that's really Bobby, as you're questioning, because he couldn't give you the hospital. So let's look at, what is it, Brooklyn area codes. Brooklyn zip codes. Well, I got 11, 201, 217, 220, 232, 206, 211, 249, 201, 206, 207, 221, and 1237. I don't see any 400 area codes in Brooklyn. I thought he was from Brooklyn, right? Yeah, I know what 420 means, but he always said it was his zip code. So, not sure. More nations interesting in joining BRICS, which means more nations want to get on the gold standard because they know the dollar's going out and they don't like the way the U.S. handles it. Following its expansion at the beginning of this year, BRICS is increasing its appeal. Yeah, it's called gold. Zimbabwe announced it's interested. Well, they're already on the gold standard. So how many countries? I hate that way. If you're going to give a more countries are joining, give a fucking number. It doesn't say. I heard 40 are joining at the summit in October in Russia. Yeah, I know 420 arts code, area code. Well, that's what Bobby always said. That's my area code. And we questioned him on the 420 meaning getting high. And he didn't, he always backed away from it, saying, no, that's my area code. But I thought it was kind of funny. Also, let me ask the question a different way. $420 is the country code for Czechoslovakia. Where is a 420 area code? The only 420 area code there is no area code 420 in the U.S., just in the Czech Republic country code. So, not sure who we're talking to. We assume it's Bobby, but I do think it's Bobby, but he probably didn't want to admit on here that it's for drugs and not area code. But I never really cared. It was like, who would make up Bobby Bow as their nick on here, right? I could see a Tom Brady or you know Michael Jordan, but I can't see Bobby Bow. So that's where we're headed. The dollar is out and gone. It's just a matter of time. Like I say, the Titanic hit the iceberg and it was gonna sink. So you get off. The dollar is gonna sink, and you buy the gold and silver, especially now because it's cheaper and you can still get it. Here's my fear, especially for you, Luke. You have all those boxes of silver, and then what happens is, okay, I'm going to trade some silver in for gold, and they won't have the gold for you to buy. Now you'll be able to take 10 ounces of silver and get the equivalent in gold. So let's say you'll get $30,000 for your 10 ounces, and now you got to go find an ounce. That's 30,000 for gold to buy it. You'd rather just do it on one fell swoop and not have to fill out 1099s or anything. But that's what you'll have. So my fear is there won't be gold. The only reason I have gold where I go is that people are selling it to the guy. And the owner goes to me, why are they selling it? I go, they don't understand. They think this is a high price. They don't understand this isn't even close to where it's headed. I mean, it's going to be 20, 30,000 an ounce. This is 2,400. It ain't even close. Oh, I'm going to sell it because it's at the all-time high. This is how stupid people are. It's the all-time high for paper gold, and we're not talking. The derivatives are blowing up. They're gone. Now we're going to get a real price. I bet when BRICS comes out in October, it's at least 10 to 15,000 an ounce because they'll need it. Because now, if there's 40 more countries wanting to join, they need a higher gold price to print all that money. So that'll be it. And China with 60,000 ounces or 60,000 tons, believe me, is wanting to get as much of a price as they can, and they'll bury the U.S. We're so fucked. And that gold you think we own, Luke, is rented, which means, and I showed you that in that one video, but it got blocked. But in the video, it says that we have. It shows we have 8,000 tons, but it shows as rented. Rented means India bought it and made jewelry out of it. We don't have it and we can't get it back. So it might say rented, but we don't have it. So we have no gold. That's for sure. So we will see. Bro, I was so confused. I just got to know flamethrower means a fast pitcher. I don't watch baseball. Well, then why where'd you come up with flamethrower? Or are you like a pyro, or in the war you had a flamethrower, or you like these superhero movies where the guy shoots flames out of his ass? Like the Fantastic Four? Are you like that guy who flames on and flames off? Yeah, fastball pitcher's a flamethrower, or the guy on the X-Men's a flamethrower. Anyway, so that's what we know, and we got to react now because you're not going to be able to react later. That's my fear. As gold hits 10,000 an ounce, you're going to be able to afford, how many ounces can you get? 100,000, you're going to buy 10 ounces. That's crazy. My friend took his 100,000 and got 55 ounces. I know he brought in a check to my guy's store. Here's 100,000. I saw it, and he got 55 ounces. Now he'd get 10. That's what my point is. As it gets closer to D-Day, the gold will get more expensive, and they won't take dollars. I'm a gold dealer, and I'm selling it for 20,000. Do I want this shit, knowing it's worthless? Probably not. So you might not even be able to buy the gold. You'll have to use the silver to buy the gold, provided you got a 10 to 15, maybe 20 to 1 ratio, and you can give them 20 ounces of silver for the gold. That'll be the only way you can buy the gold or the BRICS gold backed currency. So I'm wondering if we'll have a chance to get to the BRICS gold backed currency, or do I got to go to Russia to get the gold backed currency? Uh, I mean, the fire thing pushes flame. Well, I know what a flamethrower is. I'm just curious why you chose that name. Luke, let's be honest. You or I don't know if we have the gold. Maybe we do. Maybe we don't. I believe we do. Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't believe we do because they don't show it. So my logic is if we had it, here it is. If you ask me, do I have a Mantle card, and I pull it out and say, here it is. Here's my Tom Brady rookie. I don't have the Jordan rookie. If I said I did, I'd have to produce it. So my point using logic is if they had it, they would show it. They have it on their books as rented means they don't have it. So I'm going by what I hear. Obviously, they haven't opened the vaults the 50s, and you got to wonder why. That's all I'm saying. Why, knowing these crooks in the government, I doubt we have any there. But maybe you're right. We'll see. But I doubt. There might be gold in there, but it's not ours. It's China's, and it's been rented out to them. So I just doubt there is. Otherwise, why aren't we using it to pay the debt? Why aren't we using it to raise the gold price? Oh, it's bad for the dollar. Well, the dollar is worthless. You got a $36 trillion debt. I'd be pulling the gold out now to save it. Otherwise, you got to keep printing $1 trillion a quarter to pay the interest. I mean, you're so fucked when that's your interest charge. So imagine you have a credit card and you're paying $5,000 a month on your credit card, and then you still have your bills, and you got to eat, and the rest of your bills. How are you going to do that if your interest on your credit card's $5,000 a month? That's my point. So why keep paying the interest? Wouldn't it be easier just to pull the gold out and say, hey, it's 20,000 an ounce. Here's enough for our debt. But it keeps growing. Why does it keep growing? At what point don't you realize that maybe you should stop spending? Oh, wait, they don't want to spend because they want to get elected? What's so special about being elected if you're ruining the country? You think they'd run the other way going, I don't want anything to do with it. It didn't happen under my, I keep seeing these commercials for Biden, and we don't want to go back to what Trump had. Oh, we really don't? Yes, we do. And he doesn't want to tax the rich. Perfect. The rich shouldn't pay taxes because they create the jobs, because they create the businesses, and employ everybody like Henry Ford, right? So yes, don't tax the rich. That'll be the biggest benefit for everybody is if you don't tax the rich. But you get all this class politics. Oh, the rich should pay their fair share. As soon as I hear that, I know it's communism. What's a fair share? Is it not a percentage? Don't they pay 20, 30% on their income? So what the fuck you talking about? Nobody gets away from that. Luke, breaking point coming. Yeah, well, exactly. But that's what I'm saying. I'm just going by logic. If we had it, we'd show it. Hey, everybody, here's the vault. We got it. Why wouldn't you show it? It's heavily guarded. Nobody's breaking in. And when you needed to come up with gold for Germany, it took you 5 years to come up with 300 tons. Well, if you got 8,000 tons and part of it's Germany, you'd probably have it. You wouldn't take you it'd take you 5 minutes. Okay, I got it. Let me get it up for you. Instead, it took them a couple years to pay them back 300 tons. I know Africa just asked for their money back that they had. I don't know if they got it or not yet, but it's insane. The whole thing's insanity. A, you can't have the monopoly of printing money go to the government, and B, you should always have your money backed by gold, or you're fucked. We go back to Caesar and we go all the way through to now. If you don't have gold backing your money, you're fucked. We all know it. It happens every time. So that's why you're running to get gold and silver. A fiat tax would do the trick. A flat tax would do the trick along with terms in Congress and no Fed. Yeah, you got to blow up the Fed. But what I would do is I wouldn't even do a flat tax. I would do a sales tax. So when you're a big billionaire and you want to buy a yacht for, $500 million, 6% sales tax. That's how you get it, because they will buy things with their money, and that's how you get that's how you get your tax. But taxes should be low. Taxes are way too high. You want low taxes in your country, and you want the gold system, the gold standard. And you want laws that actually work, that aren't corrupt. You break the law, you go to jail, or you get punished, or whatever it is. But you don't turn your eye if you're. Oh wait, you're on Biden's side. Oh, then you don't forget the law. You can walk. Oh wait, you want Trump? Oh no, you're going to prison for 20 years for the same crime. You can't have all these things, and that's all George Soros putting in these corrupt judges that are Nazis. That's the problem here. Really, the problem is George Soros. He's running the show. I love how they say it's Obama or that bullshit. It's George Soros. Obama couldn't run a candy store. So you got George Soros, and he's just trying to destroy the country, get revenge on Hitler and the Nazis losing, and then hoping then China takes over. And I can't speak Chinese. I do like Chinese food, but I can't speak Chinese. So that's really the point, and that's it. So no, I think a 6% sales tax would be fine. Then you'd have it. So I think that's it. But yes, you got to get rid of the Fed. You got to get rid of this fractional banking system where they create it out of thin air too. You want to lend money, you got to have it. I give you 10,000 for savings. You can loan that out, but you can't just make up money to loan out. I mean, that's ridiculous. But the most prosperous time in the world was my favorite time, 1879 to 1914. The whole world was on the gold standard, and we had a 4.9 growth rate. So these people say, oh, you need inflation to grow. They're full of shit. You don't. And it's not a zero-sum game. If I make $10,000 on Microsoft, nobody loses 10,000. I just made it. And the best example I heard on the rich was, he said, well, it's not one pie that gets divided. the rich create more pies and bigger pies, right? Um, you know, the computer comes out. Well, nobody suffered because the computer came out. The economy grew, and then you needed mouses, and then you needed Intel, and then so all these companies grew from the computer. It's not a zero sum game. You hired to hire all these people, but you didn't take it from anywhere. So I don't. There's no zero sum game. It's everybody wins because of computers, because of the cell phones, things like that. Everybody wins. There's no. It's not they. Peter Thiel made all this money, so somebody lost all the money. No, he made money, and then he did better. He hired all these people, and they made money. So the economy grew. It didn't need inflation. It just needed good ideas, productivity. You're mostly on point, Prfoessor. Thank you, Luke. The Bitcoin thing, and we have the gold is questionable. I'm sorry, the Bitcoin thing, and we have the gold is questionable. But neither one of us can be sure. I'm saying, yeah, the Bitcoin thing again, it's priced in dollars. And when the dollar goes out, what's Bitcoin going to be worth? And it only goes up when people buy it. And it really isn't anything. It's not money. It's not acceptable. I can't go to Kroger's and use it. So it's not cash. So therefore, it's more of a collectible. It's more like this. So Bitcoin is kind of like Mahomes. People demand it. I don't know. I don't know how you get $50,000, $60,000 for it. That I don't, because I don't see the value. What are we valuing? Well, it's not even a coin. Well, it's a digital coin. Well, what do we own that we're valuing it? That's my problem with Bitcoin. And like I said, when the dollar goes out, it won't. And we have the gold again is just based on we can't see it, right? They won't say here it is, and why wouldn't they? It's funny, but I believe Russia's got 25,000 tons, and I believe China's got 60,000 tons. That's funny. I believe that because it comes from Mark McGuire or Egon, but they also don't think we have it. So, it'd be nice to be pleasantly surprised and wonder why the fuck we're not using it now when we got this huge debt. But we do have the stupidest people running our financial things, and this Fed, and then this JP Morgan guy who's corrupt, and Soros. So we have a lot of bad eggs running it. So that explains a lot. Very corrupt. Luke, can't wait for the break in gold, though. It'll be a period. Well, yeah, it's like it's finally waking up. And yeah, we'll be smiling because we got it, right? We're smart enough to jump on the boat ahead of time. We didn't need to be like in the water to realize, oh, the boat's sinking. We got to get out. And we're able to buy a lot of gold and silver at these incredibly cheap prices. See, people don't understand that they're cheap. Silver's at 32. It's only going to go to 50. That'll be it. No, that's derivative silver, not real silver, not a real free market price, which is what that's why I keep showing the baseball cards and the football cards. That's free market price. And you can see they're worth a hell of a lot more than $32 that the silver's worth. Starting but slow. Silver, yeah. Well, gold's moving nice. I mean, it was 24.80 yesterday, 24.70 today. Yeah, the afternoon derivative from the US, but it won't last. It's really what you're looking for is when BRICS comes out with the gold backed currency. That's when you're going to see the price go to 10,000. That'll be more of an overnight price. Right now, we just got to keep doing derivatives. But yes, it's starting. Silver's $30, $32. So once it hits 35, it's gone. It'll hit 50. But they're fighting. Keep in mind, we're fighting the U.S. because they don't want that dollar broken, even though it's worthless. And we're fighting the people that want to make it for the electric cars, and the solar panels want a cheap silver price. So they're going to fight to keep the price down also, which I think is done by China. So it's a lot of that, but they won't be able to keep, because then the orders will come in for 5 tons and they don't have it. I mean, it's only in Comex that it's 32, but so if I make an order for 2,000 tons and you don't have it, I'm going outside. So you can't keep that price low. So that's really the silver price, is China supposedly keeping it low. But I always thought it was somebody keeping it low on purpose so they could buy it. I don't know how much silver there is left. I mean, it's not really mined. It doesn't make sense. So there's really no silver mines. They just, when they're digging up gold, they run into some silver, and that's how they get it, and copper and stuff like that. But yeah, you can see it happening. You can see gold 24. Just the fact it's 24.40. Let's get the 730 price. So it's 24.45. So it's you can see the US has gone to sleep. Now we wait for the euro and the Asian to push it back up there. And then here's the US pushing it down, but they won't be able to keep pushing it down. But we know this is all derivative, so we don't worry. Nobody's profit taking. Nobody's doing any of that shit. It's all priced in derivatives, and we're still getting 24.45. So we can't bitch. Silver, we understand it's a little different animal, but we know that. We're not upset. That's a buying opportunity. Gold is a huge buying opportunity. At 24.45 is a joke. So that's what you're looking at. So anyway, that's what's happening. The bricks will raise it. The Comex, the derivatives, and gold will go out. The silver will hang around a little bit more until everybody starts with the solar panels and the electric cars. They'll have to raise the price because they're going to want more than they have. And they're going to say, okay, I got to, and then it goes. Then supply and demand hopefully take over. But I think gold will get the physical price, and that'll be 20,000 easy. So that's what we got ahead of us. So again, we're not waiting for the boat to sink to get into the lifeboat. We've already hit the iceberg. We know it. So we're doing the smart thing. We're getting it cheap, and that's what we want. So we know we're getting it cheap. Anyway, that's about it. I did bring up rare, like poker. You're looking for the rare hand, the aces, the kings, to start with. That's how you play poker, and you're trying to get fake tells. So it's all the rare, like the Rolex. So if you compare Rolex to women, or you compare Rolex to poker, that's what you're looking for. Or blackjack, you're looking for 11 to double down versus 16. So that's where it's at. So the girl, you're looking for pretty, but she's nice and friendly and good to be with. Versus the pretty girl who's not nice, or the not pretty girl who is nice, but you want the pretty girl that's nice, not the non-pretty girl. So it's all comes back to limited supply, high demand, high price. Yeah, soon, Luke. So, well, you can see it happening. 24.45. I mean, 25 should hit tomorrow. I mean, it hit 24.75 today at 2:30 in the morning. The Asians were busy buying. So look for this to pop up. And the silver, we just have to wait a little bit. But we know the demand's there with Saudi Arabia now and India. We know the demand for silver is huge. It's got to make the price go up because they got to buy it. They can't buy it on Comex. And once it gets to the mines, it has to go up. So anyway, you're welcome, Luke. See you soon. Take care. Yeah, I was kind of pissed. I talked like this, and the fucking thing was frozen, and so I thought I did an hour and a half. I did 38 minutes. So this is kind of a redo, but still you can get that. Baseball, no games today. We'll do baseball tomorrow. Football, I talked about selling the classes, so I'll do a class like this for football, one for pro, one for college. $25 for pro, 25 for college per week, which we'll walk through the games and I'll give you my picks. Or you can still get them at teaserking.com. You can just buy the package that you normally would and buy a week or a month or the whole year, and I give discounts on that, pro, college, or both, and then you can do that. And that's so that was part of it. So that'll start end of August. Once there's football games, I won't do preseason, and I'll walk you through how and why I'm picking them, and then off we go to that. So you can either pay for the classes here, or you can go to the site as you would normally do. But in free, I'm not giving picks. So there's two ways to get them, but I'll give you the breakdown of the games, the spread, and the quarterbacks and injuries, but I'm not going to give picks. Capital Grill sounds good. I can't wait. I'm hungry. Yeah, we can wherever you want to go. There's one here, or at least there used to be one. I assume it's still there. But yeah, let's meet, and that sounds good. It'll be nice. As opposed to the airport food. I may be heading up to Milwaukee in September. Possible stop in Detroit for stay. Oh, that'd be great. You going to Harley Davidson in Milwaukee? So I've applied there. I'm still waiting on Harley for a contract job. And like I said, my recruiter said I've been trying to get a hold of these guys for 3 weeks and nobody's responding. So it's good news. It's not a no. It's good news. The job isn't on hold. And they probably had to wait for second quarter results to figure out what to do with me. But there's 2 jobs. They want me for one of the 2. The VP's already said that, and the CFO. So again, I'm waiting and waiting and waiting, and I'm waiting on the trust, which I don't know. I had an idea. I was thinking how much it'll be worth, and then I'm figuring my mom probably had life insurance, which I didn't even enter into the equation. So I could get handsomely rewarded here. I don't know. I'm just looking for a few $1,000s, but I got a feeling that they're doing trust and it's taking long. If it was 15 grand, you just, divide it between me, my brother, and say, here's 5 grand each, take you 5 minutes. So the longer it takes, probably dealing with a lot of money. So we will see. Steelers game. Yeah, I can watch Russell Wilson. We'll have to try that. That sounds good. Let's pick a good game, maybe against Cincinnati or Baltimore would be a good game to go to. I can see my Joe Burrow. Sounds good. So yeah, keep me posted. Get my email from Teaserking. Go to teaserking.com and go to my homepage and my so here's Teaserking. There's the site. And then if you go to the homepage, so down here's my email. So you just follow it down. And then you can contact me there. I got to put some gold up on it. So I got pictures of Caesars, but I got to put gold because this was initially meant to be a football handicapper. I added baseball a little bit, and now I got to add economics and gold. But it's expensive to have a whole new website because then you got to pay for another server and all this shit and your name. So it's kind of easier if I can consolidate it. But I know it's difficult on YouTube. You don't know where I am. YouTube, Teaserking, but it really doesn't say you're an economist, and it says I'm a football handicapper. But with all the handicapping I do, it should say both. Anyway, that'd be it. So we're still good on gold, 24.45 You got it's amazing, right? Because you're sitting there at 2,000 and then 2,200 and 2,300. Took a while, and then we got to 2,480. I was hoping to see 2,500 this week, and tomorrow's Friday. We have a good chance to see it because all you need is a few good options up, and it goes $30, $40 with no problem. That'd be exciting. 2,500. Then we know we got something. Okay, Luke, sounds good. And I look forward to the Steelers and the Capitol Grill. It sounds great. So let me know. Keep me updated. I am traveling in September at some point to see Jenna, probably either going to Greece or Spain or somewhere like that. The problem with Greece is it's like a 2-day trip because if we wanted to go to an island, you had to fly in and then wait a day and then fly to the island. I ain't sitting on an airplane for 2 days, so I think we'll probably go to Spain or some other country, provided they're still there in September. All right, I'm gonna go and get a dinner and go do a little walking. All right, www.teaserking.com is the website for the football and my email. And if you have other questions, you can certainly ask in this. You can certainly ask it here or email me is fine. I don't mind. I get some. All right, that's it. So www.teaserking.com. Hope you had a. I apologize about the first class, but there's nothing I can. I don't know. I think I'm fine. I don't know. I'm frozen. Uh, Sometimes I can tell I'm frozen, but anyway. All right. Anyway, have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a nice Friday. Have a nice Thursday night and Friday.